Labour is to move a censure motion against Transport Secretary Chris Grayling in the House of Commons, including an audacious bid to cut his ministerial salary by £2,400. The attack is over Mr Grayling's handling of the East Coast Main Line rail fiasco and will see Labour use a Commons tactic, which it says is well established but rarely used by opposition parties. It was last used by Theresa May when she was Shadow Transport Secretary in 2001 against Labour's Stephen Byers in a row over Railtrack, but was crushed by Tony Blair's huge Commons majority. Mrs May was supported in that debate by Mr Grayling, then newly elected MP for Epsom and Ewell. But this time Mrs May and Mr Grayling have no Commons majority to rely on to defeat the Labour move. Labour's motion proposes that this House censures the Secretary of State for Transport for his handling of the East Coast franchise and his proposal to re-privatise the route rather than operate it as a public sector operation, and believes the government should reduce his ministerial salary by £2,400 per year. The opposition has chosen to reduce Mr Grayling's salary by £2,400 per year since this is the cost of an annual season ticket from Ashtead station in his Surrey stockbroker belt constituency to London. According to Labour sources, a bid to cut a minister's salary is a censure motion that seeks to test whether the Commons supports a government minister in the carrying out of their responsibilities. Historically, the Commons has called for a government minister's salary to be reduced by a nominal sum as an expression of its dissatisfaction with the conduct of a minister or their handling of a particular policy. Labour sources claim these motions have traditionally been treated as a matter of confidence in a minister, making it politically imperative that governments defeat the motion to ensure the minister can remain in post. In February 1976, the year Harold Wilson's Labour administration lost its Commons majority, Industry Secretary Eric Varley's salary was reduced by £1,000 in a row over trade union legislation, and the government had to overturn the vote a few days later. In a second opposition debate on Wednesday, immediately after the vote on Mr Grayling's salary, Labour will seek to force ministers to hand over official papers on the future of the NHS in England. The Labour motion will call on the government to publish papers looking at the repeal of the 2012 Health and Social Care Act and any documents relating to privatisation of the NHS. The move follows reports that the government is considering overturning parts of the shake-up of the NHS carried out when Andrew Lansley, now Lord Lansley, was Health Secretary. Shadow Health Secretary Jonathan Ashworth said, "Even Theresa May is now admitting the Lansley reforms have failed and need to be unpicked. The government should come clean about their plans, or the public has no reason to trust that we won't continue to see more of the same Tory privatisation agenda." Ahead of the 70th anniversary of the NHS, MPs should support Labour's motion to give the NHS the funding it needs and end the toxic privatisation of our health service.